It's all love.
I still love you, Trevor.
All love.
All love.
Ruben said, "Fuck Mason." Sheesh. I should let Mason know how you feel about him, bro.
I said I was gonna shit all over him in this podcast tonight. I did.
You should just do it with vape coming out of your mouth like you had it.
Yep.
I know.
If you like the Don, Trevor. If you like the Don.
That's what a millennial Don is gonna do. He's gonna try to look badass with a vape. There you go. He had the chin working for him. I feel like he just tried to French inhale and failed miserably.
That's how you do it, Trevor.
We're getting somewhere.
Okay, John, take it.
All right, and that is it for the theme song. We are live here on HamiltonRadio.net, channel HR2. This is the Round Table. I am your host, John Brecco. We got some very special guests for you guys today. Returning this week was my guest from last week. We got Trevor Burrus in here. Bro, how you feeling with yourself and your big-ass beard? Come on, bro. How you feeling?
Fantastic. Both me and the beard, we're doing great. Thanks for asking. And,
All right.
you know, it's just been a solid day, yeah.
Just so everybody knows, I think that thing grows like 3 inches every time I see him. I'm going to start thinking he's part Chia Pet soon.
You're goddamn
I
right.
swear to Christ. Ryan
Thank you.
Lodge is here, bro. How you doing, bro? What's up?
Oh, good. Tuesday night, just, yeah.
Yeah, man. Blowing up on a Tuesday. You're acting like it's a big deal that it's Tuesday when you just put your kid to sleep. Holy shit.
I know. Tuesday, in the middle of a pandemic. I'm just happy to be here.
You know what? I'm just happy you kept track of what day it was. Look at you.
I know.
But before I get into my guest, I do actually want to tell everybody how myself and Ryan met, because we actually met recently. We met at a strip club comedy show, right? Like,
Yep.
this is a real thing. This was actually how we met. And here's the thing. I knew that every one of us there couldn't dance because we were the ones stuck outside in the show. And if you want proof, you could check our wallets, because we walked away with no money. We're the only ones who performed and walked away with nothing, okay?
Well, we showed up with no money, too, so, we didn't even go inside.
We showed up with no money, left with no money. Bro.
That's the way it is, strip club.
And here's the thing, too. Ryan, the joke that stuck out to me, I don't even remember what the punchline was, but it was a joke about him doing anal, and I was like, yeah, I could see it. His voice is really high.
Yeah, it was a stupid butt stuff joke. I think the best part of that was everybody that was either watching the show or participating, like nobody went inside. And I at one point, I went inside to go to the bathroom, and there was maybe, I think at one point, 25, 30 people out back at our show. And you go inside, and there's maybe a total of 4 people in there, and the music is just blasting, the lights are like flashing, and you see like
right?
2 girls working like the bar, and then another 2 dancing. It was like, it was. I don't want to say it was sad. It was slow. Everybody.
Well, I can tell you this. It picked up because after the show, I had a drunk friend, right, and we all wanted chicken nuggets from Wendy's, so we ended up, splitting 100 chicken nuggets between 3 of us. And the thing is, the line was so long, he started complaining about having to go to the bathroom. So this dude was so drunk, I actually had to walk him back in the strip club. And this is when it picked up, mind you. The security guards were there. People were walking in, all that shit. You could barely get back and forth. I'm like, this dude's drunk and he just has to take a piss. Can we just go? Like, please?
Wait, real fast. How long did it take for you to get 100 chicken nuggets? What's the waiting time on that?
5 minutes.
How long?
It was like 5 minutes. Oh, it's 5 minutes, but it was fast food, so we were in the drive-thru.
That's impressive. That's what that is. That is talent.
I was.
They
I
made
was
those
impressed.
like 3 days previous.
It was only like $25 too. I felt like a mom that just took a trip to Walmart.
They're outsourcing the work somewhere insane.
Nuggets in bulk.
That ain't real food. You know that ain't real food. That is some plastic
What, Wendy's?
that you ate.
Oh, that's.
I mean, it's drunk
Oh,
munchy
man.
food. We did what it was. It did what it was supposed to do.
It did
Yeah,
what
we-
It was
saw
there.
this.
It was there. It was next to it. There was a Burger King on the other side. Like I didn't really have good options anyway.
I get it. I totally get it. I support your decision.
But anyways, we have a guest here who's busy talking shit about my fast food choices. You know, like she's not talking to the fattest dude on this fucking room. But
Like, is that
anyways,
organic?
we've got, huh?
Like, is that organic? Were those organic?
Yo,
Are they GMO?
actually, she just made me think of something. So now she's got to wait to get introduced. But yo, I was in the station today, Trevor, and the host of the show that I work on, he started talking about this lady who got pissed off in the middle of a KFC, and actually like wrote a letter to him because they didn't have vegan options in there. It's KFC, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Really?
You did
I
that
feel
to
like
a KFC?
I feel like that person was Gabriella. I feel like she was the anonymous sender.
Was
She's
her
super
name
funny.
like Miss Phalange?
Probably.
First of all, just so you know, McDonald's has vegan options. I
Oh,
literally,
you, sir.
I mean,
I feel like we know.
I'm not
everything
vegan at
about
all.
you.
Not who I intend to be.
Like, what if-
but
Like, Trevor, what are you talking about? You don't even know what we're talking about, okay?
Man,
Give
everything I
me.
need to know has been laid out on this table right here.
Yeah, he is lying to you. But anyways, let me introduce our guest without any further ado. She is a sketch comedian, writer, actor from LA. She's based in Miami right now, but I think she's from LA. I think that's how she said it. We've got Gabriella Miller here. What's up, girl?
what's up, guys? I'm excited to be here and talk some shit and talk sketch and talk whatever it is that you guys want to talk about.
Are you really excited to be here after I bought Wendy's? Are you really?
I mean, for me, it's just an opportunity of conversion, right? Like I can convert you to see the light.
So you're trying to convert me, like I've lost like my faith in God or some shit.
No, I'm gonna tell you something though. When it comes to spicy chicken sandwiches, Wendy's is top tier. You can't get better than Wendy's with a spicy chicken sandwich.
Alright.
Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
not sure.
Great.
So that
That's
ain't
fair.
food up. Chicken
I'm with-
nuggets, I don't know about chicken nuggets, but spicy chicken sandwich, I'm there. I'll
Is
say.
Is Chick-fil-A still acceptable?
You know what? I've never been to Chick-fil-A.
Are you serious?
I know, and I hear it's amazing. And here in LA, it's like huge. And I was just telling my friends staying within LA right now, they're like, how have you not been to Chick-fil-A? First of all, the lines are fucking
The
long.
lines are huge.
That's true.
Like,
Good
why?
point.
Who? Like, why? And in and out, you do a long line too, but it goes by super quick. But Chick-fil-A is just ridiculously long, so why would I?
See, I was actually
Yeah,
going to ask you about In-N-Out because I'm a West Coast boy that's been starved to this shit, and I don't appreciate being starved of food. I'm a big dude. Gabrielle, do you want to know how fat I am?
Oh, here we go.
I could
First
do
of
my
all,
airbag with
I can see you're not fat. Like, you're not. I feel like you're trying to oversell yourself a little bit. Like, I'm huge, you guys. Like, we can see what we're looking at you.
No, he's talking.
I could be look. I could be my own airbag when I drive. Okay.
Oh, man. That's so harsh.
I feel like that is intense. That is really.
This guy has a nice lady who loves him. I mean, he's got it going for him.
That wasn't
you know?
even brought up. It was
doesn't
brought
matter.
up that I'm larger than average. But honestly, she was talking about McDonald's. When I see people with widow's peaks in their hair, I think of the McDonald's symbol. Like, this is what we're talking
That's
about
fair.
here.
That's fair. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Everybody
But,
loves some Big Mickey D's.
yeah, but, you know, we got to talk about priorities here. You came on the show, you know, you're a sketch comedian, so we got to talk about priorities. We got to talk about In-N-Out. So,
In and out.
Obviously.
we didn't even say, she didn't even say anything about it.
Important questions. Would the important question be, what do I order when I go to In-N-Out?
Yeah, could be. Well, let's do that
Okay.
first.
I'm gonna tell you, because I'm literally like, my sketch comedy is a lot about like the LA girl and the diets.
Right.
And like, I make fun of that shit, but I drink the green juice. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
I'm In-N-Out all day. Am I gonna have a burger with bread? Absolutely not. Like, I do not touch a carb. You know what I'm saying? Like, bread, protein style. Proteína. You know what I mean? So I'll hit up like double. I'm literally that annoying girl that it's like, I'm worried. I'm like, can I have a double? But like, because double is, obviously for those who don't know, In-N-Out or like burgers in general, because
Right.
I love myself a burger, but like, is double meat, double cheese. So I'm literally the girl that's like, can I get double meat, no cheese, no secret In-N-Out sauce,
You okay?
only literally
Turn it
meat,
on. Oh,
tomato, lettuce, and grilled onions. But then obviously I order fries. Animal style? Absolutely not, because hello, I live in LA. Like,
she got me curious about the secret sauce, though.
you know what? It's basically, what is it? Mustard, mayo, and ketchup.
That's it?
It's orange. I literally think that's what it is. Like, it's just a fucking mix.
50,000
You know,
miles.
What's the secret sauce? It's orange.
It's orange. It's like
orange.
it's a peach color. So I literally think it's like ketchup and mayo and maybe some mustard, but that's about it. But like, absolute, like, do I post on Instagram like, oh, look, I'm at In-N-Out and say that I'm not having bread? No, I pretend that I'm like chill as fuck and that I'm carb loading, right? Like most girls on Instagram do. Like, ooh, I'm having a burger today. Bitch, you didn't eat that burger. Like, you didn't have that piece of cake. You just posted it. You know what I mean? I'm such a food poser. I'm sorry. It's just like, LA got to me shamelessly.
Okay.
I'll literally go to a restaurant, people will order dessert, and I will take a picture of their dessert and pretend that I'm the one who had it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Ooh.
So you pretend to be you pretend to be a foodie, but you're just posing off what other people.
Honestly, I eat a lot. I just can't. I'm just a poser as well, which is like,
Okay.
everybody has a little bit of both.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's fair.
Well, I appreciate the honesty.
I try to have all of it, but even I get full sometimes.
What, with the In-N-Out with the animal style?
Just with anything, with food in general. I'm just saying that even I get full.
Yeah. Of course. I'm a big chip eater. Like, now that quarantine started, I feel like there's no breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Like, everything just melts together. Just like the days together. So I literally just like, will have like a bag of blue corn chips, because I'm really into blue corn. Corn chips for lunch or brunch. And then just, I honestly like chips all day. They're crunchy, they're salty.
So chips are the guilty pleasure snack here.
No. Hold on. Can we circle back around to this blue? Can we circle back around to this blue corn chip thing? What fuck's going on with that thing?
I wish I had a bag of chips. If you've never had, have you ever had a blue corn chip in your life?
I am here asking you
that reaction.
What
You
it
have-
is. Yeah.
Like, no, you have no idea how amazing blue corn chips are. Like,
Okay.
I'm about to rock your world. I wish I had a bag next to me, because but I ate them all, like, yesterday.
So,
But-
I mean, what could possibly be the difference, though?
To be honest with you, probably not much. They're thicker.
Okay.
They're thicker, saltier,
I'm-
and I don't
I'm
know
with
what it is about the flavor. And everyone that I've given these to are hooked. So it's blue corn chips, and then you're gonna thank me for this one, chicken chips.
Okay.
Chicken breast.
Educate this man.
Yo, you know what happened too is, like, when I first started getting into chicken chips, I was dating a dude at the time, and no offense to dudes, but you know how you guys are always like, ew, is that healthy? I'm not gonna have it. Chicken chips are not healthy, FYI, but like, he thought that because I'm like the freak LA girl who's like healthy about everything.
They were healthy.
And I was like, try a fucking chicken chip, and he never wanted to try them because he's like, I don't know what that is. And then all his friends started trying them. I got so many people hooked on these fucking chicken chips. Like, it's ridiculous, to the point where he had ended up trying them and now loves them.
Is it dried chicken? Is that what it is?
he doesn't love them anymore. But what?
Is it dried chicken? Is that what it is? Is it just-
Chicken, like baked or like fried. It's fried chicken skin. So it's like a sandwich.
wow.
Oh my god. I'm gonna get mass stock of those for my girlfriend.
Basically fried chicken skin.
She'll eat the fuck out of that.
Okay.
Dude, they're so
No, that actually
good.
sounds good.
No, they're
Oh, that
amazing.
sounds great. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm
really
a
good.
snack queen, especially now with quarantine. It's like I don't even have meals. I just graze all. I'm like just chips all day.
Yo, because I'm
Well, my
not gonna
girlfriend's
lie.
pregnant currently, so.
The best part of
Well, like-
fried chicken when you have it is probably the skin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Like, are you kidding me?
undoubtedly.
Like-
Yep.
It should have never taken them that long to try it if we can put this together within one episode. So
The
I don't know what
flavor,
he was doing.
it's more filling, et cetera, you know?
You said
Can't get better.
you said you were dating him at the time, so I think you made a good decision in ending that. I just want to say that now. Just based on the blue chips
I
alone.
agree. I concur.
Just dust the shoulders off, girl. That's all.
Shake it off
Yeah.
like Mariah Carey in 2005. Shaking
Yeah,
it
right.
off.
Just bring it back. Yo,
Yeah.
I got to ask.
Was that 2005? Oh.
It
I
was
don't know.
Emancipation of Mimi. It was 2005, right?
Oh, no.
If it's far enough back, we're debating this. It's far as hell back. That's what we need to know.
Best
Yeah.
album ever. Best comeback
Yeah,
ever.
with May. Just stop it right
Okay.
now. If you think it's different,
Emancipation of Mimi.
girl. Oh, did somebody else over there say it was different? Hold my ears.
Oh my.
I ain't
No,
shit.
Mariah literally just like paved the way for unbelievable comebacks. Can I just say?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
where is
True.
she now? Who the fuck knows? But that album was. She needed
Yeah,
that.
nah.
What is she doing?
Yeah, definitely. Just so we can have something to talk shit about Mariah Carey for. But yo, I gotta ask you this. You know, you've done a lot of sketches on Instagram, and the first thing I want to ask you, just a general question to start off. Because we've been talking about the food for the past 20 minutes, which I love. But how did you start doing sketch comedy in general? Like, where did that start?
That's such a good question. I was acting, or I am acting, I guess, still auditioning in LA. And I had a manager, and I literally was like, I met him. When I met him, he was like, "What are your career goals?" And I was like, "Comedy. Like, I just want to do comedy." And he was just kind of like, "Okay, cute." He's like, "You're brown. They're not a lot of female brown comedians." He didn't say it like that, but he was like, "Well, yeah, this isn't really screen comedy." So I was just like, "Okay, whatever." Kind of let it go. And then a few months later, I was like, "Well, I thought of a funny idea." There was this YouTube video that had gone viral of shit LA people say, and I thought it was hilarious. And then I was like, there's a lot of shit that actresses say in LA. AKA, I go to In-N-Out and I order a burger without the bread and the sauce and the everything except for meat and lettuce. So I was just like, let me shoot that shit because that's funny. And I just was having fun and I thought it was funny and I didn't even really care what I would do with it, but I just wanted to do it and I did it. And I really never intended, even to this day, like I didn't want to keep shooting sketch. I just was like, I want to go audition and like be famous and like be on TV. And that wasn't happening. But my manager saw the video and he was like, "Oh my God, I think you're really funny. Like, yeah, I want to sell you as a comedian." And it really opened a lot of doors. It opened like, through my videos, I got my first like network test and met like the network executives and like signed a contract. So I was like, ooh, shit, like this is really awesome. Like I'm getting opportunities through. But then when quarantine started, I honestly was kind of just like, right before quarantine, I was even like thinking of I took a break from acting because I was just like, auditioning was just like, it was awesome, but it wasn't fucking awesome. Because at the same time, you don't own your time. You're running around trying to like make that fit with your regular job, etc.
Yeah.
And then quarantine started, and I went through a breakup, and time freed up, and it was awesome.
Was it the blue chip guy?
It was a blue chip guy, and nothing inspires a girl as much as a great breakup. You know what I'm saying? Am I right, fellas? I don't know, but we get really inspired after breakup. We actually are like living our life, although we're miserable, but we're living our life as well. And I just started shooting again because everybody was like, dude, like shoot your vids, you know what I'm saying? And it was so, I discovered that I was like, I like this so much more than auditioning and so much more than like even acting, like to get to write and like, you guys are all stand-up comedians, yeah?
Right, yeah.
Like, that shit's hard, you know what I mean? Like one thing is for somebody to just give you a script. I mean, not to say that that's not, it's not a piece of cake. It's not easy, but like, it's so much more rewarding. And I just got to the point where like, I didn't even care who saw my videos or how many views they got. I just wanted to create because it was like so unbelievably fulfilling and fun. Yeah. And I got to boss people around and a lot of my comedians are creators. Like, I don't know if you guys know Issa Rae from Insecure.
Mm-hmm.
She's a comedian. She writes the show. She stars in it, but like, she's just a badass bitch. Like, all these like women and men, but it's, you know, I'm a woman, so hello. I was like, this is so much more fun, and that's what I've been doing and like really trying to do ever since. Like, but it's no stand up, you know what I'm saying? Because
I get it.
It's really fucking scary, but I love it. I love doing it.
Well, all right, so the auditions, you know, from what you're saying, I feel like you kind of just got drained after a while. So is that kind of what happened with that?
Yeah, I mean, I was drained, and also it just, like, I felt like, and I mean, I'm still auditioning. It's not like I'm not auditioning, but I did take a few steps back, and I just felt like I didn't own my time, because it was like, you got an audition, it's due in 2 hours, like, go, you know, and and don't get me wrong, like I do shoot a good amount of commercials and audition a lot for commercials, which is great, especially for an actor if you're like aspiring or whatever and you don't have a name yet. Like commercials can give you pretty good money, but just the auditioning in general, like the number one piece of advice that I would tell actors who were like starting out and would ask me, which I didn't follow my advice to the T, but what I would say is like, yeah, for sure, audition and work on your craft or whatever. So fucking, I hate the whole work on your craft. I don't know why. But like do your thing, but also create your own stuff because if you're not, it just gets draining because you have no control. Like some fucking dude or woman or whatever that doesn't even know you has control over like what you're going to book or what your job is going to be or, you know?
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yo, I'm not going to lie. I can actually really relate to this because you know, comedy was, you know, like that for me, you know, with really what happened, you know, with the Zoom shows and not being able to be in front of crowds. That's where it really started to, you know, wear on me being stuck inside my house all the time. Because I loved going up to the city, being able to perform in front of different crowds every night. You know, that was so much fun for me. First of all, I'm glad clubs are finally opening up in the city because that was driving me nuts. And, you know, when it came to that, I just wanted to take a few steps back, you know, focus on the radio show, focus on the job I have now at the station I've been at for the last couple of weeks. And, you know, really it just felt great for me to, you know, just redirect my focus on, you know, different things, you know, try to just shift into, you know, what was working, you know, and of course, again, you know, I still love performing too. But, you know, it just made a lot of sense for me to just kind of shift over a little bit. And, you know, I'm really enjoying that part of it. So it makes things more fun when you can just shift after a while, you know? 100%.
And I feel like a lot of people right now, like there's this whole social media craze of like, how many followers do you have? Which, FYI side note, has anybody seen Almost Famous on HBO? The doc?
No.
Holy, like, if you want to be depressed about the state of our like youth or just like who we are as humans, watch that fucking documentary. Because basically what it said was like there is no such thing as famous people. Like according to Instagram, almost half the population or more than half the population of the United States of America is famous, because
Whoa.
based on the numbers on Instagram, but what's crazy and what the kind of doc showed is that people buy followers, and like you can create this persona just by buying followers. And I felt like as creators and as creative people, it really isn't about the follower count or the view. I mean, so we want to share our shit and we want people to watch it, but it really for me was like just this like outlet of like doing something different. And with quarantine, everybody was so shut down and so like, what is the point of life, that it was like, well, I have this opportunity to just like create and write and put myself out there without caring about everything else. I think that was really liberating for me, because once I saw that you could buy buyers, followers, I was like, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to feel robbed, don't you? I mean, in some right, you kind of feel like if you've gained, like, you know, if you've, you know, formulated this large following, say 20,000 people, only to find out that someone, you know, down the block put a fake profile up and bought, you know, 25K followers. That's a hard pill to swallow, you know?
Here's the thing, though. I want people to genuinely enjoy what I talk about on stage. You know, if I talk about, you know, 2021, cancel culture's doing things wrong, which they are. They canceled Pepe Le Pew before they canceled Andrew Cuomo.
This
Let me
is
just
the
say that.
fourth fucking time. I swear to God, though.
Listen, I got a different guest on. I'm telling them, okay?
Fucking
this ain't all about you.
He's right.
It's about Pepe Le Pew, okay?
All right. So hold on. I got
you, Pepe. We miss you.
Here's the thing. I was on Trevor's podcast, and I actually want to bring this up because he just made me think of it. I started getting into a debate with Mason because he said country music was gay because they talk about like breakups and shit like that. I'm like, motherfucker, have you ever heard a Drake song before? Yeah, come on, bro.
Literally every song out there, especially hip hop, is about breakups.
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, it's true.
Have you ever heard of Taylor Swift? Like, what the fuck are you doing? That's
I think
like, that's Taylor Swift's whole career.
The best is like the one rapper Future and like his new music, because he's got like these like intense hip hop beats, and then you listen to the lyrics and it's like, oh, she broke my heart, but then you see the kids just like
yeah,
going nuts,
and like clothes at the back, you know, like grinding. Yo, this is a breakup song.
Like, I'm depressed.
Yeah. Like he is struggling. He is in need of some prayer, and like this is going on in the background. Yeah.
Making a mixtape for him is like therapy.
Yeah, potentially.
But
so, by the way, I went to school with a guy. We actually spoke about this recently with me and my buddies. But he was like an aspiring singer, and I was back in school. When did I graduate? 2011. So that's, oh my God, Jesus Christ, 10 years. But like I didn't talk to him since. But I looked him up on Instagram the other day, and he's got like 60,000 followers. And I'm like, what? Like, is he really like blowing up? And you look, and it's all like Russian like usernames. Like, you could tell right away. And then to take it one step further, like 2 years ago, my buddy showed like a video of Neo, like the actual singer Neo, was like, yo, shout out to this person's name, like he's the next singer to blow up, blah, 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 blah. He got a Cameo video before Cameo was like real popular, paid Neo to say all this shit about him. And then he cropped the video. So the Cameo logo, like the watermark, wasn't in it. Like,
wow.
Straight scheming.
That is genius. That is fucking genius.
And this was like 2-3 years ago, before Cameo like was real popular.
I will say people are starting to catch on, because now, I mean, especially girls, because there's so many, like, you can have 200,000 followers if you want, if you're willing to pay for them. Yeah. But the trick, or like the tell-all, you can buy you have to buy likes as well. So like, or views, right? So a lot of these people who have like 200,000 followers can't buy likes in all their posts. So they'll have like 5,000 likes, but 200,000 followers, you know, like that's the tell-all. But for me, it's like, if that's what you want to do, totally fine. But what was like traumatizing for me about the documentary was like, so the director picks three people who audition, talking about auditioning, and he picks like three of the like least interesting people. And, or like not interesting, but you know, like they didn't really have anything, like some of them, the people that auditioned were like singers, opera singers, like had like cool shit, like fashion designers, like on the side. And he didn't pick these like random people just to prove that like by buying their followers, he would like turn them into these personas. And even the girl that they picked, because they picked two guys and a girl, because they're like, okay, this is fucking weird. Like, it's because it was just never ending. It was like by followers, by likes, by followers, by likes, and all these like post pictures. And the girl ends up staying, and she was kind of like, in Spanish we call them pan sin sal, like bread no salt, like not like that, but like, she was just a really sweet, mellow girl. And even the sweetness that she had, you couldn't even see in her pictures because they were so like poised and kind of bland. But you end up seeing that the girl ends up with like 250,000 followers, and then like brands don't even really verify that. So they started, so anyway, all to say is that I was just like, in an era where that's what's important, I think it's even more important for people to like create and put themselves out there and put content out, not just like focus on the BS. Not that that's BS, because if that's important for someone, absolutely. But that for me was like a big kind of wake up call of like, okay, if you don't want to do that, then be the person that actually creates content, and whether it's the most brilliant content ever or just kind of something silly that you thought was stupid and funny, just put it out there.
I think that it would make more sense if someone like you were to buy followers, because you do make content, you do produce content, you deserve more of a following than you have, right? As opposed to someone that posts one video and immediately wants that gratification of, of instant fame. So yeah, I mean, it would make more sense if you were to do this, I think.
I know, right? I don't know. I think I'm just cheap, you guys.
that might be my problem too. I've been sitting here trying to put this together for myself, and like, you know what? It finally makes all the sense in the world. Brian,
dark times.
Budget for myself for followers.
Brian.
Yeah.
We might have to go to Flamingos and start getting on that stripper pole ourselves, so we can finally get what's going on.
As long as
I got question. So you guys perform at stripper clubs because they're open. They never closed during COVID, yeah? Or they did?
They did. I think they opened like around June.
I don't go to strip clubs. This is for my girlfriend.
Okay.
We're like in a tent. This is it almost is like you're at a barbecue on a rainy day, because there was a tent, like they got like artificial turf. There's no poles. They were all inside. The only pole held up the tent. And, that looked like it was about to fall the entire time.
Wow.
I'm like extremely confused. So how do the strippers perform?
I think that I think in the summer they had to like social distance with lap dances, which I don't even know how that works. Because like, how do you even do that? Because like I'm Ryan. I think because I went a couple times in the summer to go and perform. Back before Flamingos could actually get a crowd. Because when they started this, it was just like the regular mic. There's a bunch of comedians there that just aren't even listening to your set. It was how a regular mic feels.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah. So, I get through this set. I see them like going around a little bit because I'm trying to get to the credit card minimum over there. So I'm trying to get, like one more beer just to hit it so I could get home. And I think that's how they were doing it. And I'm like, why would anybody even want this? Strip clubs are overrated in the first place. And now,
extremely,
Can I ask you a question? No, I'm in a room with guys. Like sometimes I feel like guys just say what they think I want to hear, like my friends and stuff. So when you go to a strip club, not except for Trevor because he's never stepped foot in a strip club. Because
what a fucking liar.
Thank you.
When you go to a strip club, do you think that the women that are strippers are attracted to you?
No,
absolutely not.
Make money.
First of all, me and I've already mentioned this before. I think on the first time that I was on the round table, but me at a strip club is a lot of this. It's just me sitting in a corner somewhere.
You can't even look at anybody.
There is nothing comfortable about that situation at all because I know they want my money and I know that I don't have any money. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is a conundrum for everyone in the room.
Well, what is the fascination? Like, why do men love strip clubs? Because the image that like women get of men is that men are like, yeah, she's into it, and it's like, no, hun, she literally just like she's hungry. She has tuition to pay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's got tuition to pay. You know, herself to feed, maybe kids. Who the fuck knows?
Right. So where
honestly,
does the delusion come from? Does it come with age or?
I think me personally, I think it comes from guys who don't have game themselves. So that's where I think it comes from. You know,
I think you're right, John. I think you're absolutely right about that because I've
never
never
saying
had
that because your girlfriend's in the room still.
No, she's not in the room. She's not in the room, John. She's,
technically I'm safe.
John.
Technically I'm safe because mine's in the other room, so I can say whatever. But
yeah, she's
honestly though, you know, I think that's, you know, the kind of, you know, guys that are gonna go back to strip clubs again and again and again. You know, the only time I ever even got a lap dance myself was the first time I went just to see what it was like. I'm like, okay, you know, that was a lap dance. I could have got that for free. Now what? You know, and it was just like, okay, whatever. So I mean, I got through it. We hung out there the rest of the night, and you know, everything was all good. You know, we had a good night. We drank. I treated it like a bar after that.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, should people experience it at 18, between 18 and like 22? Yeah, for sure. But
what it's like.
I am such a fan when it comes to strip clubs. Like what you said, Trevor, just in the corner, just
yo, Ryan.
Rise to the floor. Yes, sir.
Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got to tell you this. When I was at Flamingos the last time I went, the night I met you, they actually almost lost my card. So that was me for like the past 20 minutes while they were looking for it. And
really?
Yeah, they told me like, we don't have your card. It's nowhere in our system. I'm like, yes, the fuck you do. I gave it to somebody before she left. So either she stole it or it's here and you just can't find it for some reason. So I'm sitting there waiting, right? And the funny thing is, you know, Michelle Conrad comes in and she's witnessing the whole thing. You know, just me brooding, trying not to look at anybody. I think somebody just rubbed my arm and I looked the other way.
Oh my God.
Because even if I was gonna have money before, like, it's apparently lost. So even if I wanted to spend it, which I don't have it either way in there, because, you know, I decided to do stand-up with my life, and radio's just starting to work out now, so I need a couple more weeks before I actually have anything. You know, it was a problem. But
where was your card?
How much does a lap dance run you?
The one time I got one, it was 30.
30?
Whoa.
Where was that?
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah.
Buddy, you were in a barn, and that wasn't a strip club, I feel like.
Yeah, you know what? Hold on. It was an AC strip club. So
I don't know what that is.
That might be what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, $30. That sounds
$30 in AC, and it makes sense, right?
Ooh.
That sounds cheap.
But if you compare it to like Miami or LA, I'm sure it's so much more, or like Las Vegas, it's so much more expensive. I mean, you can go to a hole in the wall strip club where you see like a lot more scars and probably smells like bleach. And it'll be like, lap dance with you know what I mean? Like a living social deal.
You know what it was? You know what it was, Ryan?
What?
Trump bankrupted all the casinos, so now they had to bring the prices down in AC for everything else. That's what it was. He just bankrupted everything, and now nobody's in there making money, and I could actually save something.
Yeah.
I feel like some Russian guy off the streets just convinced John to show up to his house, and John was like, "I guess this is a strip club," and they were like, he was like $30, and he was like, "All right, man, cool, yeah, $30, whatever, man."
Oh no, I got cheaply dry humped with my pants still on. Whatever shall I do?
Yeah.
It's like a middle school dance, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't listen to the chaperone when they said arm's length. That's basically what the shit is.
Hey, John, leave room for the Holy Spirit.
Oh shit.
Is that hold on, Trevor, is that what you did when you went to the strip club? I know your girlfriend's in the room, so you can go with yes if you want.
She's no longer in the room. So, but no,
Here.
it's not.
So you admit on the radio that you didn't leave room for the Holy Spirit. You should definitely show her the show after we're done.
I really am the most awkward person at a strip club. I haven't been to very many of them at all, and I genuinely am just so uncomfortable.
You just want to leave with your bank account intact. I understand.
I think it's also my dignity as well. I want to keep that in the back pocket, you know, the old.
Yeah.
I've been to a strip club once for a bachelorette in Vegas. So this was like pretty top-notch strip club with obviously male strippers. Not obviously, but obviously. And honestly, they were gorgeous, like just the most impeccable bodies, gorgeous men. And I literally like felt sorry for them. I was like, because they're like, how's it going? I'm like, you're okay, dude. Like, I'm not gonna pay for a lap dance. So like, you literally can chill. It was so, and then I could see like these ladies, like older ladies, like, yes, like going crazy. I'm like, get it together. Like, what is happening? Like, these gorgeous 20-year-olds are all up in like these 65-year-old ladies, like, grill. And I'm just like, how, ladies, like, what are you doing? Like, it was so discombobulating. I was so uncomfortable. I was just like, I felt like I was like, I wasn't even like paying for lap dances, and I still was like, I'm so uncomfortable. I was very, very uncomfortable. We're just doing it. What do you think the ratio between gay male strippers versus straight male strippers are? To be honest with you, I didn't get gay vibes from any of them. And I've been to any of them. Like, I swear, and maybe it was like really put on or whatever, but I think I would have noticed because, and I've also been, I don't know if you guys know about this place in LA called the Abbey in West Hollywood. It's in Boys Town, like where all the gay bars and clubs are. Well, the Abbey is like this epic place, and I've been there, and like a lot of the dancers, because they have like, you know, male go-go dancers in like thongs, and like the dancers are straight as fuck. Like I had a dance, like he's literally in like a thong, and he's like hitting on me, like, hey, do you want my number? I'm like, but like we're literally at a gay club. What do you mean?
Okay, all right. So let's just talk this.
A ton of money.
Let's talk this through then. But like generally, I mean, just gay strippers or gay male strippers versus because this is not applicable among.
Trevor curious about gay strippers.
Well, I am because this is not applicable among female strippers. You don't really you wouldn't really think that a female stripper is just automatically going to be gay. You know what I mean? Whereas male strippers kind of seem to carry that persona because if they're super chiseled, they're putting a lot of focus.
They're super chiseled because it's their job. I'm sure. I mean, you're right. Gay men tend to be fit, but
tell me that's not a stigma that has been in your head before.
You know what? I didn't even think of it because it wasn't even about are they gay or not? Because I didn't get that vibe. I really got that they're straight, but they're out. They want their money. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. It doesn't matter, but I have to wonder.
But now I'm wondering, like, I wonder which one of them was gay. What's funny though is that we went early. We were like there like way too early. The girl who organized this bachelorette is a shit show. Like she was just such a fucking shit show. We literally went to a club and she like disappears and she comes back with security behind her and she's like, we've got to go. And I'm like, why do we have to go? And she had asked the bartender for Coke, and I literally was like, what? And she's like. For Coca-Cola. She's such a fucking little liar. She's like, I asked them for Coca-Cola and they like thought it was Coke. And I'm like, you are insane. Like it was literally like The Hangover. Like everything that could have gone wrong. Then we got kicked out of a different club because this girl pulls out a vape, like a weed vape. And she's also like, we're in Vegas, no one will care. We immediately get kicked out of that club, but then my friend that was holding it, that happened to be holding the vape, literally gets arrested by like hotel. It was like literally The Hangover. Like in one night, anything that could have happened. And one of the things that happened was we show up at the fucking strip club at like 6 p.m. So we're the only guests
6
there.
p.m.
So all of the strippers like descend on us, like bees on us. And I'm literally like, this is so uncomfortable. Like I feel so uncomfortable. It was like
Excuse me.
5
all the
girls and then like
Where's the
10
best place to
strippers.
buy
It was so
drugs?
uncomfortable.
Yo, Ryan, I'll tell you this, bro. Somebody asked for a Coca-Cola in Flamingos. They wouldn't have to haul ass like that.
Yeah.
Bro, because I got to see Flamingos after dark. Nobody's hauling ass over Coca-Cola. Air quotes.
Air quotes.
She's like, absolute Coca-Cola. We're like, did you though? Was it Coca-Cola that you were asking for?
No, you were asking for lines. Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
no, not the brightest bulb. She was not the brightest bulb. She wasn't. Totally. But I had my own little hangover.
Pepsi, I got picked.
Happens.
Bartender, can I have
Bro,
some
if you got,
nut
like, three-
cocaine?
If you've got like 3 people getting arrested, you got to take the edge off with some shots. That's fair. You could have a hangover from that. I'll accept that.
It was interesting. It was an interesting trip for sure.
Let's ask a police officer. They know where all the drugs are.
You know that happened to us like once. We were in
No.
Panama City, Panama, and my friend
Oh,
wanted to smoke weed. And she's like, let's go ask the cop. Like there was a cop. She's like, I'm gonna go ask the cop. We're like, you can't ask the cop where to get weed. She's like, yes, I can. She asks the cop, and the cop tells her where to get weed. Like you can't make that shit up. Like he was like, yeah, I can tell you where
Yeah,
to get weed.
because he's gonna get the drop on you. That's why.
That's a good
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's setting you up.
I mean, he didn't set us up. She just got her weed. I was like terrified. I was like,
Oh,
I'm
he didn't?
gonna go
Yeah.
now.
What is
Oh, wow.
that? That's like
That's
bizarre.
awesome.
Hashtag Adventures of Gabita.
John,
Adventures
you
of
immediately became the ultimate pessimist. You said, nope, absolutely not. She's going to jail. That's what's happening.
Nah, bro,
She's gonna go to jail.
I was so out. I threw her under the bus. I was like, bye.
You only became the pessimist because you found the one cop that it actually happened to work out with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. That's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
here,
that's
though,
the only
I-
reason
I-
why she even looked like that.
There are cops in
Like-
Oklahoma that buy weed from people that I know, or that did,
That I
that before it was legal
Really?
here. So, yeah. So it's not as uncommon as you might think in maybe rural areas. Rural. I always have trouble with that.
Rural.
This was years ago. Before it was legal even in California. We were like in Panama. But I think it's just like, I don't know. I guess maybe she just had a sixth sense or something. It was weird. It was
Yeah,
weird. But it was.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That is a
That's
very
wild.
strong sense.
As long as everybody's
This cop that's holding the German Shepherd, maybe they know where we can get weed.
yeah. No, as long as we didn't have a repeat of the bachelorette party in Vegas, then I think everybody walked away happy.
Oh my God. Legit, it was
Cops.
like,
That's like balls.
we got escorted out of 2 places. 2, okay? 2.
Your friends have no idea how to party.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
I
we
was
Or get away with
It
shit,
was so
really.
hard, so quickly.
I'm literally like living my like Vegas club fantasy, like on a table, you know, rooftop, and then literally it's like,
Right.
we gotta go. I'm like, what? Yeah, that
Just
wasn't.
ruined
That was,
shit for everybody.
I literally should have just told her, like, yeah, you leave. I'm good.
How
Yeah, you did this. You can deal with it. It's all good.
Yeah, you can go with it.
I don't need to be involved in this anymore.
I
I'll
am
just-
not like when it comes to trouble like that. I am not a ride or die. Like if you get drunk and you're puking or something, and you're like, you got it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Like, literally, like once we went, my friends and I sound insane, but I swear we're like really chill. We went to a bachelorette in Colombia, and one of us was just drunk from the moment we landed to the moment she like took off. Like legit, it was like literally we would go to dinner, and you know how like when you're walking by and there's like this, like a crazy person, an unwell person or whatever, yelling, and you just kind of ignore and keep walking. That literally was her. Like we'd be at dinner and she'd just be like, whoa, and we'd be like, okay, let's just keep eating. You know what I mean? She was drunk the whole time. Yeah, like
That's
legit.
wild.
And she was passed out on the sidewalk, did not want to like get in a cab or come back to the hotel with us. And I was like, she'll be fine. Like, just let her be. You know what I mean? I just like hate dealing with that stuff. I'm like, she'll figure it out. We're in Colombia, okay? And my friends are like, no, we need to pick her up and get her in a cab. I'm like, she's fine. Like, she's good. Like, I have a good feeling. Like,
Oh, you have a good feeling.
I literally always have friends. Or like if we were partying and one of them started throwing up and was like in the bathroom, I'd be like, you okay? But like, please God, please, I don't want to help her. Like, I just was like, I'm awful when it comes to that stuff. I do not do well.
We went from, we went from throwing up in a toilet to leaving a friend in a foreign country. Like, these are two different levels. See, the throwing up one. No, the throwing up one is one thing because you don't need to pat somebody on the back. It's like, no, you're good. You're an adult. It's fine. You're gonna get through it. Just drink some water afterwards. You'll be good. I don't gotta pat you on the back. You were gonna leave them outside of the U.S.
You know, I just was like, it was a busy street. There was a lot of partiers, and so I was like, she's gonna be alone. You know,
You'll find somebody. I'm
but
sure
then my
they'll
friends
be
were
nice.
like, we need to help her. Like, we just can't leave her in the middle of the fucking street. I was like, ugh. She has 3 seconds to get up. I swear to God.
That's how you. But that's how you live through a horror movie, though. Like, I mean, that's how like that. Her perspective right there is like how you make it out. You know what I mean? That's how you become like the person at the end of the movie. Like, I'm alive. You know, like holy shit, we made it through this bitch. Yeah,
You're
hell
so
yeah.
right. You're so right.
You know?
It's always the drunk that gets left
You gotta
behind.
know when to bounce. You gotta know when to not go down to the basement, not to walk up in the attic. You know, don't pick up that box of VHS tapes that probably has, you know, some creepy children.
Trevor's
Yeah.
dropping some wisdom right now.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
I feel like you got this from a Goosebumps novel.
Hey man,
Tell you, I am never going to be the one character that plays the VHS tape. If there's anything I can tell you before,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I can tell you in life.
right?
I will be that
Yeah.
friend. I will never be an idiot.
She's gonna be the person in the movie that walks out before everybody starts playing with the Ouija board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like she'll just be the one looking at the house that like burnt to the ground the next day, just like, huh. I tried to tell him, and just walks away from it.
She'll be the one where her friends are like, guys, we should check out this dark room. And Gabriella's already in the Uber, like, we're about to bounce. Let's go.
She's like, you guys should check out the inside of this sedan because that's what I'm doing. Dude.
I'm like literally, I don't care if my life is boring. Like, I'm not going to die in a ditch. Sorry about it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
That's a goal.
not going to
Yeah, Gabriella's got friends that are gonna go over to the sedan and try to tell her there's free candy.
There's free candy in the white van with the tinted windows.
Yeah.
You got those kind of friends.
I will say that I
Don't
do.
tell me one of them did this.
I do kind of I do things like I trust people. Like I'm also like I got a sixth sense. Like I'm good. And once when I was in college, it was like snowing or some shit. I don't know. But some guy comes up to me at a Starbucks. It's like at night, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey," he's like foreign, and he's like making conversation. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, and he's like, "So." Can my friends and I give you a ride? Because I'm living in Boston. I don't have a car. It's a walking city, but it's like snowing. He's like, can my friends and I give you a ride to like the drums? I'm like, no, it's fine. And he's like, no, seriously, like, you know, it's kind of cold. Like, I don't want you to have to walk all the way. I fucking took the ride. I got in the car. I get to the dorms. They dropped me off. Like, I don't even know how I did not get like him. Like, hey, I get in the car. I get to my dorms. I tell my friends, and they're like, "Are you in? Like, how moronic would
Yeah.
it be to get in the car with?" It's like they seem nice, but I never like. Once I was in the car, I was like, "The fuck am I doing?"
Did
But
you tell your
I
parents?
know stories like that actually. So I don't know
Did you-
what I'm talking about. It's because I've learned.
Did you ever tell your parents that happened?
Absolutely not. Nor will I.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they would be.
Kidding, Mom. This is a big story. I'm just making it up for the podcast.
Mom, guess what happened last night?
Yeah, no, like, I would do stuff like that all the time. Like, just trust people. Like, just be like, okay. I'm trying to think of other times. There's been so many times. Or like, yeah. It's kind of insane now that I think about it, that I'm still alive.
Yeah, that you haven't been
That's
murdered. That you're not the title of a Netflix documentary. Yeah, it's pretty surprising to me too, for sure.
When it's your time, it's your time. You know, I truly
guess.
believe that. It's like the
Well, I mean,
COVID.
that's probably true.
Yeah.
Holy
No, it's
fucking shit.
I traveled to Indonesia the day after it was declared like a pandemic and the quarantine started. And I was like, well, I already got my tickets, so I'm going. And people would tell me like, oh my God, are you not worried about COVID or dying or getting some? And I was like, I feel like if I die of COVID and like RIP, no offense to anybody who's gotten really sick or passed away, but I was like, I feel like if I die of COVID, it's because I was meant to die of COVID. Like that was the way I was meant to go. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
This is
that's
too
how-
random a situation, you know? And people are like, okay, that's not how it works, but cool. And I was like, no, I think that's how it works for me. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah,
And
no,
so,
I
it's
mean,
not
I agree with that 100%. You know, plus you already spent your money on the ticket, so I can't even blame you.
Was it,
Like,
they weren't getting any refunds. They weren't getting any refunds
Yeah.
because everything broke. All the airlines-
Yeah, so what do you expect somebody to do? They paid their money. They're gonna go to the foreign country that they wanted to see. You know, everything might be shut down, but I'm sure there's like a site or two that you were still able to check out. So
Oh, yeah.
it'll be worth it in some way.
It was beginning of quarantine, so it was still like,
Okay,
I was
so
still able to
stuff
go.
was still somewhat open.
Still don't regret it. Like my family was like, "You're insane," but I went anyway and it was fine. It was fine.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm alive. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I've gone out and done shows since then. You know, I've gone into the city, and honestly, when you go on the subway, a lot of times it's like a ghost town. I've never thought I would be on an empty subway car in New York, and it was actually probably one of the most uncomfortable rides on the subway I've ever been on because you've never seen that in the city. Probably more uncomfortable than going to Flamingos in June and getting a socially distanced lap dance. I mean, I got to be real about that because I never thought I would have seen that. And then little do I know, I'm riding on it, on the way back from Brooklyn. It's like 10 o'clock at night. And, it was maybe like 4 or 5 stops before anybody got even on the cart I was on. So it was weird, man. Like Ryan, I know you're thinking about this. I'm sure you've been in New York.
I've
Thinking
been to
about
New York
this,
in I haven't rode the subway in I guess 2 years, I want to say. But I was in New York Tuesday, and it's slowly starting coming back to life. It's great.
bro. But bro, you've never seen the subway empty, right?
No, you always see it jam packed. It's
Exactly.
yeah. In Penn Station,
bro.
There's so many spots where the norm is, it's just everything is a fire hazard. You know what I mean? That's how crowded it is. And to see it completely empty, just pictures. I haven't seen too much in real life. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's bizarre. We're living in crazy times, kids.
I can tell you.
Normal in Florida, though, right?
Oh yeah, Florida gets a bad rap. Miami gets a bad rap. Like, oh, no one's wearing masks. Like, people wear masks. Like, I honestly wish they were more open about it because we have such a bad reputation. Might as well. But honestly, it's a lot of Latino people, a lot of brown people, and we are like, we want to work, bitches. Like, we got some businesses to open, and like, I'm not about to starve. So it's been affected. There were a lot of businesses that shut down, but for the most part, they were just like, like, we come from Cuba, we know how this shit works. Like, nobody's gonna tell us when to open, how to open.
Yeah.
Like, we know where this goes. A lot of Cuban, a lot of Venezuelan people, so they've been pretty resistant to it. And right now, it's getting a bad rap because of spring break. But I can tell you, again, maybe this isn't PC, but I went out in Miami on Halloween, and people were out and about. And there's a lot of people from all over the country and all over the world flying to Miami to like go out and stuff. And there's been less of a spike. There haven't been more cases in Miami than say in LA, where people have been like quarantining a lot more. So
Really? Oh wow.
yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I think, when it comes to people, they're sitting here acting like, they've been cooped up inside their house for like the entire past year. And you know what? Like, you can't survive like that. You got to at least step outside, once in a while. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I haven't done shows. I haven't been out. I haven't been to gatherings at all in the past year. I was at a fucking baby shower drinking this past weekend. So, like, I'm not going to sit. Yeah,
to stay.
no, like
It's, I mean, but then to each their own, right? Do whatever you feel makes you feel safe, you know? I kind of made an executive decision when the quarantine started. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna, like, I'm just gonna trust my body that it can defend it. You know what I mean? Like, try to stay as healthy as possible. But like, I'm not gonna get this obsessive CNN all day running in the background telling me, like, you know, death count, et cetera. I'm just gonna try to be as safe as I feel, and everybody should do the same, you know? It's so funny. Some people post like pictures of them wearing masks and like, amazing vacation. However, it's like everybody has the disclaimer. We wore masks the entire time. The staff was super sweet, friendly. It's like, dude, no one cares. Like, you're fine. You know what I mean? But it's like the disclaimer. Like, all like my super like pro mask friends are like, wore a mask the whole time, felt super safe, took all the necessary precautions, and it's literally like a picture of them with a mask on. It's like,
fuck out of here.
We don't care about your picture with your mask on. Like, you can take it off for the picture. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? So I do think that if it makes you feel safe, absolutely do it. But it's starting to be this kind of thing where we're just scared of being yelled at or told that we're selfish and idiots and that we're killing people. You know what I mean? Like, it's more about like what are people going to say.
How much you want to bet some of these people put their masks on for the pictures?
True.
Like, like, I guarantee you, somebody's done that.
My cousin and his wife had a baptism for their kid, and okay, I know them. Like, everybody that was at the baptism, they hang out with no masks all the time because they did like a mini baptism. And then for the baptism pictures at the church, they were all wearing masks. It's like, you guys hang out all the time without masks. Why are you wearing a mask for the picture? Like, it made no sense. It was just like, this is ridiculous. So that's where I kind of lose, I don't want to say respect, but I kind of lose, it's kind of a loss of perspective because we're not trying to stay safe anymore of the virus. We're trying to stay safe of like people telling us we're shitty people, you know? And worried about like what people are going to say. But I really truly believe that everybody needs to do what makes them feel safe. And if staying home and not going anywhere makes you feel safe, then, you know, I wouldn't do that, but like I respect those who want to, you know.
COVID's gonna make you sick. Well, so is staying inside for a year. So you ain't gotta always.
Yeah. That's not good for the mind.
Health tips.
No, I mean,
I'm trying to say.
The people I know who have stayed home, it's really, really affected them. Like, and it's so important, like how it affects you, like personally on an emotional level to like physically. I mean, I think that's like a huge, huge deal. It's a huge connection. So yeah. And also we're made up of viruses. We have more viruses than cells in our body. Like we're literally petri dishes of like disgustingness. So,
She makes it sound like each and every one of us here is full of STDs right now.
I mean, we probably are. Okay. They're just connected. They're dormant, but they're there. They have been planted.
Yo, you know what you should really show your girlfriend after this is over, Trevor? Show her this part. She'll start thinking you got an STD. Where the fuck did you get that from, huh?
John basically wants you, Trevor, to break up with your girlfriend. I've like decided what's going on.
Ruin Trevor's life.
He's trying to ruin your relationship.
Burn it to the ground, guys. I guess.
I mean, bro, you've had kids from this person. I'm sure she's heard worse from you. So
yeah,
you guys are gonna make it.
I will say, I will say on the COVID note that I've had this conversation with so many people, and I personally don't think it has. I don't think that it matters what our perspective of how everyone else is using the mask system is. I don't think that matters. I think that what matters is that the people that are susceptible to this are susceptible to this. So I think it's still important that we maintain that mask mandate in like enclosed areas. Now, I will say that it's comical to see people like in their cars or to like riding motorcycles that have these masks on for the purpose of COVID. Like, I think that's ridiculous. That's comical, but I don't think it's a joke that, I don't think that you guys think it is either, but I think there's a, certain amount of people in this nation that are kind of, making it a joke, making people that wear masks, into a joke.
Oh, right.
It's still a real thing.
People that have got to be safe are the ones that are high risk. That's what all the rules are for.
I'm so polarized. Like now, if you have a question about like, well, how how useful is the mask, right? If you ask that, it's like, okay, you're an automatic asshole that thinks that everybody's sheep. And then
Right.
if you're like, I want to wear a mask because I feel safe, oh, you're a sheep, you're an idiot. And I don't think either of those are true. I think there's so many nuances, and you just got to do what makes you feel safe. And if you have a legitimate question of like, I don't think this really works for me, I like, or I don't think my kids should be wearing it because I don't think it's good for them because, you know, whatever. I think everything is valid, and I think instead of like jumping down people's throats, we should be encouraged to ask questions because we actually don't know. It's so funny because actually everybody that I know who's gotten it was like heavily quarantining and heavily wearing masks. So like at the same time, but I'm bummed out because people treated them like they were reckless, and I was like, no, they weren't reckless. I know for a fact that they were like heavily quarantining and wearing masks. They just happened to go to a doctor's appointment and got it there, you know, whatever. So I think that that's where it gets a little like hazy. Is like people have to like feel like they have to be like, they're more concerned about what you know, how they're gonna get slammed on social media more than always, right? Like I read status of someone asking about a vaccine, and she was like, please don't bully me, anti-vaxxers. And I'm like, if she wants to get a vaccine and she's asking questions about the vaccine, like let her ask questions about the vaccine, you know? I think we've just gotten like too vigilant, you know, on each other.
Yeah, I think it can be it can be a point where it's like overbearing and we're going overboard with the amount of precautions that we're taking for sure. Do you guys have like, do you guys in the New York area and then you in the LA area, do you guys have a lot of I don't really know, like, do you guys have a lot of Republican, like condensed Republican areas? Like people that don't
where you go in Jersey.
Not in LA. You step 1 foot out of LA and yes, it's purely Republican. Like all over the OC, Orange County, Newport. I mean, I went to Newport or Laguna Beach a few times in like June, and absolutely no one was wearing a mask except for staff at places that I would go to. But other than that, no one was wearing masks, which I think is really interesting because I had never really experienced like what they call the bubbles. You know, like, oh, LA is such a bubble, but it really, really is. Like you take, and it's even within LA, like I think there's like areas where people of color live. Like it's just, it's completely different than the rest of LA. But yeah, I find that LA is definitely a bubble. Like the people here are quite disconnected as to what's happening around because it's so different. Like to beach.
I think in North Jersey, you know, you don't have too many of those. When you go like South Jersey into like, you know, cities like, you know, outside of AC, you know, like Cape May area, you know, you've got that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, conservatives around there. But, you know, up north and by me, not really too much.
I see a good amount. I see a good amount in because I'm in healthcare. So I see like a lot of the orthopedics and like a lot of just healthcare people in general. Like they're heavily Republican, really conservative.
Really?
Yeah, but it's weird though, just because like it's like, you know, you see like these hardcore conservatives, you know, the majority of them, well, I mean, take a step back. I guess some of them, you know, with the hardcore conservative ideals, like they might not believe in the masks. And I work with some of them, but they're also in healthcare. So when it comes to like the stats, like
how do you, I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead. I want to let you continue.
Go ahead.
How do you, how do you conversate with people that are just disregarding data, that work in the industry that is meant to protect us, the rest of us?
You probably don't say conversate.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you?
That's the thing. I guess like a lot of people that I work with in the healthcare industry, like if they don't believe in something, it's more of like a personal belief. Like I guess they see the data, they understand the data. Like everybody that I work with, for example,
conflicting data, no? There's like because there's a lot of conflicting data, no? Because is the survival rate still really high, 99.8 or whatever, 99. For anybody under the age of 60 or 40 or something?
I think you're.
But yeah, it also goes into like,
I'm not sure.
if you like break it down, I guess you can like you can make a study for anything and make it say whatever you want to say. Like the people that
Right.
create studies will control the narrative, and that's what a lot of it is. So I mean, there's generally, I'd say the majority of data I've seen, like when it comes to masks, when it comes to like the virus and everything, I believe in it, you know, just because it's tough to like go against numbers, you know, and I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Like that's like I said, you know, it's very conservative up here. I guess where I work and every day, but at the same time, it's like people follow the rules. I don't know. Not follow the rules, but like they go with it. And I guess because the areas that I work in too, like John, you might know Holy Name Hospital in like Teaneck area in Bergen County.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
the epicenter back in like March, April, and just hearing like all the numbers of the people dying and stuff. And then like one of the other hospitals that I work at up in New York, I work at a bunch of different spots. Like we lost like 2 coworkers. I mean, they had like underlying health issues already, and then they got COVID, and then they passed.
Well, and
away.
it's not
like everybody
it's
takes
not-
it pretty seriously up here. But at the same
New
time,
York,
like,
right? You're in New York
I'm
State.
like, yeah, I'm like North Jersey, and I go into New York and Jersey.
Yeah, you're
So
in
I'm-
Bergen,
Right.
so that's
Yeah.
North Jersey.
Yeah, so it's a weird blend of like conservative ideals, but the things that they practice are very liberal, I guess you could say. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't know.
All right. I think I kind of understand what you're saying, because you know they have like, you know, different ideas on the virus that, you know, may not necessarily be publicized. You know, people aren't talking about, you know, exercise when it comes to the virus, for one thing, you know. And here's the thing, you know, because you know, I go to the gym a lot. Obviously, I'm not lifting a lot of weights. I think, you know, we can see up here that, you know, I'm not really getting on the elliptical too much, but you know, I go in there, I lift weights, and you know, when everything was shut down, I was using different like household stuff, you know, just because we couldn't go anywhere. So I bought battle ropes for like $40. I was doing stuff with that, you know, almost every day. You know, I was using my spare tire to do curls with. You know, my girlfriend's dad, you know, because he works on cars, so he actually let me borrow a couple of spare tires that were a little bit bigger when the other one started, you know, getting too easy, when, you know, it was almost getting because it was almost getting pointless, you know, because I was already starting, you know, with like high reps with that, because it's only like 50 pounds, so it's not really too bad. So
Could have that. I actually have a question, because you guys have mentioned data a lot. But the data that I haven't been checking lately because it's just gotten overwhelming. But the survival rate is still really high, though, right? It's 99.8 for anybody under the age of 40 or 60 or something.
Okay, the issue with that is that it's not just about how many people are surviving. It's great to see that people are surviving, but the lasting respiratory issues that are coming with the virus, I mean, that's also important. I mean, those numbers are significant as well. So yeah, people are living, and that's great. But people are also dying, and then people's lungs are slowly deteriorating a lot more quickly than the natural cause of events should. You know what I mean? So like, it just fucking sucks all around.
Especially if you have a comorbidity. But I think that Ryan's actually on a good point where I can't remember. Well, John, you just said that too, that I feel like, again, the focus is like, I feel like we should focus as a nation on like the number one comorbidity, because I know most people that die of Crohn's because they have comorbidities. The number one is heart disease, and like no one is ever interested in addressing like the really, really like deeply rooted issues that we have in the U.S. of heart issues. You know, heart disease, diabetes, you know, obesity, all these things that are like really causing people to affect their lungs a lot in a lot more serious way. I know I had COVID in July, and I was like, you know, kind of unwell for 4 days, but really only lost my sense of taste and smell. And it's different for everybody, right? Which I think is really important. But I think like what COVID has come to taught us is that we have a lot of underlying health issues that we're not addressing. and COVID's gonna fuck with you if you don't address them. You know what I mean? And I think that that's been a huge like misstep, not only of the government but of the healthcare system. Which, you know, there are a lot of people in healthcare that are amazing, but it's also treated as a business. So, which I don't think is really like beneficial sometimes for a lot of people, because I remember I had a lot of health issues in my late teens and early 20s and stuff, of just like autoimmune issues, and I was in and out of doctors' offices for years that like wouldn't take me seriously, or prescribed me on drugs that later came out being recalled because they were drugs that were really horrible for your system. So it's just a lot more complex than people are making it. I do think the U.S. has had like a serious healthcare issue and a serious like nutritional issue for years, decades. And I think we're really seeing the effects of that with COVID.
My show is never this political.
I know, this is disgusting.
This is weird.
We're comedians, but we also have death. Also talk politics.
What's everybody's favorite strip club?
What's everybody's favorite strip club, you guys? We
We
went
did go
from
from to politics, and that's pretty good.
I know, right? But it's not even like, I'd say what we're talking about isn't really political. It's just like, what's going on in the world? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's what variables do you kind of prioritize over others, And it's weird because it's such a shit show that nobody's been through already. It's like, we're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
100%.
Comedians have a really important part to play in this, because we get to like point out like the insanity of it, and also just like the questions. And I feel like that's why it's important. Like, one of my favorite comedians ever, is Dave Chappelle, and he's talked about COVID
I like it.
pretty openly, and I love that he does that, because Dave Chappelle gives no fucks. Like, you go to a show and you have to turn in your cell phone, because he's just like, no, because it is the comedian's job to like put our foot in our mouth, say things that are not politically correct, and start up a conversation. And I think now more than ever, it's important for, like, right now I've really gotten into following like very liberal comedians and very conservative comedians, because like they both are like mining gold right now, like when it comes to comedy. Like,
Good point. Yeah, you're right.
No,
I had never been
just-
conservative comedians before, but now I'm like super into them, because they're creating really incredible content that's like really controversial,
I just want to say, for anybody that's for cancel culture, you should go back and watch Chappelle's show. To really fuck your day up.
Exactly.
Wait. Are they paying Chappelle?
What?
Huh?
Are they paying Chappelle yet?
Yeah. He
Oh,
got
they are?
Okay. Then watch Chappelle's show. Okay.
he got his show back. Yeah, he just got it like recently, and he did a stand-up about that, and he did a stand-up about like how, because he got COVID a month or two ago, and he had been performing out in his ranch, like socially distanced, and stuff. He was doing shows, and just like when he got COVID, they were like, "Fuck you, Dave Chappelle," like, and he came out and he like commented about it, and it was fun because he like stood his ground. He was like, "I'm not gonna be scared. I'm a fucking comedian. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do." Talk about what's going on, and I love it. I feel like comedians really need a lot of support right now, because like, we're the truth tellers.
Everybody in cancel culture needs a little bit of Tyrone Biggums in their life.
I'm so over cancel culture. Like, I'm so freaking over it. It's insane.
They drive me crazy. But I want to talk a little bit more about these sketches before you have to go, because there's something that I noticed. I know we're talking. I said it was political. I think it gets associated with politics so much that I did that. But here's the thing. One thing I noticed is that a couple of them were a little bit of astrology related too. So, are you like really big into that?
It's so funny. I've always been like, I love like.
Okay, we gotta close out 1 minute.
Like
guys.
duality. Just like I'm the typical girl who like is like super shallow and superficial, but then at the same time I'm like, I'm trying to find my soul. Like, I'm trying to find myself. And I think a lot of girls and men do this, where we have both sides. And so I think the ones you're talking about were this little trilogy that I made called Spiritual Rehab, post-breakup spiritual rehab. And it was because, again, after my last breakup, I was like, I want to after my last breakup, and after my last like 2 or 3. I sound like I get around. After my last like 2 or 3 boyfriends, I broke up, and normally I would be like, okay, I want male attention, like validation, please, like, haha. And then after my last 2 or 3 breakups, I was like, no, I really want to use this opportunity to really get to know myself and like grow and connect and etc. And but I remember I was like going to Miami and like talking to people like, you guys, this breakup has been so amazing for me because I've grown so much as a person and I'm so much better. And I could literally see people's eyes roll. Like, this freaking moron. Like, she's so full of herself. Like, shut the fuck up. No one cares about your breakup. And so I was like, that's a really funny discrepancy because it's like 1 minute I was saying that and then the next minute I was going out and partying and like, you know, flirting and doing what I was doing. So, but I really got into like astrology and spirituality, and I think a lot of people are really getting into that right now, especially with quarantine.
Okay, I gotta cut you guys.
And I just love, like, I'm a bitch, but
I know, because Ruben's talking in the background. Just let her finish and I'll wrap up, okay?
Wrap up is 10:30.
okay, we gotta wrap up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's late, you guys. But that's why I made that kind of thing. Is I just didn't want to take myself so seriously because I feel like people who are like into astrology or spirituality, it's awesome. Like, I love it, but I wanted to kind of make fun of like how a person can be both. You know?
Okay, I like it.
You can be a saint and a sinner at the same time.
Honestly, I wish I had time to ask you more, but we got so wrapped up in conversation that, you know, I wasn't even able to get through nearly as much as,
We were
you know, I
having
had
fun.
prepared, which is a good thing. I love it.
That is a
And,
good thing.
you know, Ryan, Trevor, you guys were great co-hosts for tonight, man. Thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate it.
It was so nice meeting you guys.
Absolutely.
Ryan looks like he's about to go the fuck to sleep. Look at that fucking shirt. How thick it is. Bro, it looks like one of his fucking gowns that he works with in the hospital.
The color suits him. It suits him really well. It suits you, Ryan. It just brings out your shades.
Thank
Like,
you.
You
My very pale shade.
You got the color he's supposed to wear. He's got the thickness in the shirt. But anyways, guys, that's it for the roundtable this week. We'll be back same time, same channel next week. I'm John Greco. We got Trevor, Ryan Lodge, and Gabriella Miller. Be back soon. Peace out.
Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, it was great to meet you both.
See you guys.
Thank you guys.
Awesome, it's so awesome. I get it cause I am from where the stars from. I'm Martian, the boogie down's the motherland. Cool Herc's the overlord and we are just a cover band. I love the